Fallout 4 is not a bad game, and it is not a bad Fallout game. At least not as some people make it out to be. So I'm going to be comparing some things to like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and some of it is my opinion personally, and if you believe something else, that is perfectly cool and I'd love to hear it. But without that, let's start off by talking about the intro, because that's always important. So, Fallout 4's intro has a problem, right? Don't get me wrong, the intro does its job, it does what it needs to do, but it suffers a similar fate that Fallout 3 did. It can't be too long, or I feel like it's just dragged on and it's just a hassle to get through on every start of a playthrough. Or it's too short, and Bethesda fails to create the connections that they want you to have, anger towards Kellogg, and getting revenge over the loss of your husband and your son being kidnapped. But at the same time, it sucks, because if they make it any longer, then this shit will just get worse. But you already, for the most part, at least I'd say so, you don't give a fuck about your husband, like at all. And Kellogg, he's just out there, right? So it kind of just sucks. Plus, it's an okay tutorial. It does what it has to do, right? Like in Fallout New Vegas, they kind of just use the entire starting town as a way to like present to you speech checks, combat, etc., which you can end early too if you wanted to, which is nice. In Fallout 4, you kind of come out of your fucking freezer, you grab a pistol and you kind of just make your way through the vault, which again is fine, but I feel like they could have had like more lock picking or something. There could have been a couple things added to make it, well, more of a tutorial, quote unquote. But it does what it has to do. It just sucks that it suffers the same fate as Fallout 3. And what makes it suck even more is that the reunion, quote unquote, like in Fallout 3 when you reunite with your dad, it's great. He's a great character, fucking awesome, and a stud. Don't get me started on that. If you've seen the tier list, you know. But when you meet with your son, he leads the shitty organization that secludes themselves like spiders underneath the earth. They're like an ant colony underneath a rock. Wait, I not intentionally just made a... Did Maxon make that same rep? Whatever. But no. And the more you get to know your son, the more you know he's kind of just a piece of shit. And let's be real, Sean fucking sucks. Nobody likes Sean. You meet him when he's probably, okay, not literally, but biologically older than you are at that point. So it's kind of just like, fuck this. Like, the story kind of falls flat after, like, you meet with your son. Like, if it's either you work for the Institute or you get revenge. I'm going off into the story a bit. Let's move on to the next section.
You're a fucking disappointment.
Alright, let's get straight into this. Pants off, no condom, no lube. Alright, we're going into this shit straight. Anyway, so, the story is fine. It's alright, and it has great characters, okay? It has great characters. There's a lot of characters that I just love, especially all like the companions. But down to the core, half of these factions suck, okay? The Minutemen, it can be pretty much summed up as everyone already knows, another settlement needs your help. I'll mark it on your map. It's annoying. You do so many of those, you claim the old castle, I don't even remember what it's called, and then you just do more. It's just very, it's okay. I personally love Railroad, but it's definitely not the most exciting faction, so I kind of get why a lot of people don't play it. Brotherhood is Giga Aura. You get free power armor, a giant blip. Like, Brotherhood's great, other than Maxon being a bit of a racist. But, I mean, it's whatever. You can kind of get it. Then there's the Institute and Sean. And I can understand if because you gotta at least do one Institute playthrough. Like, it's kind of just like, that's the fun, it's the big emphasis on the Fallout story is around them, which kind of bad, kind of good. It has its weaknesses and positives, but for the most part, it's either you're with the Institute and you destroy everyone else, or you pick whatever faction you're wanting to go and you destroy the Institute and everyone else. I still think it's funny on Railroad how 3 people, including you, pretty much are the reason that gets taken the Brotherhood out. Like, you just plant bombs on their blip and it's gone. Anyway, I digress. And going into like the role-playing aspects, this is something I'm going to give Fallout 4 shit for, like just outright. I'm going to give it shit. I don't like the 4 dialogue option where you pretty much have good person, bad person, question, sarcasm. There's some great sarcasm dialogue, don't get me wrong. Some of that shit is funny. But it's just like, the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas is just so much better with like with the text boxes and all that extra dialogue. I mean, I kind of get it because it's more voice acting on the protagonists, whoever voiced them. But it's just eh. It doesn't feel as free as the previous games did. It definitely felt more restricting than it should have. And then there's like the speech checks. They aren't really speech checks. You can kind of just quick save and just keep rolling it over and over and over again. And just keep popping it until you actually get it. Which even then, a lot of choices kind of just go into the same outcome anyway. Unlike the previous games, where events can be literally changed on just off of high speech. It's just eh. It's just eh. I mean, okay. And I personally, I like the voice acting. I do. I really do like the voice acting. The voice acting is fun. It's definitely, you either like it or you don't. So in that aspect, I totally get it. And honestly, I wouldn't even blame people if they just turned off the dialogue audio. I think you can do that and then just use captions. But I completely understand if it's not everyone's cup of tea. So I'm not going to say this definitely makes the game better or worse. That one just straight up comes down to personal preference. I do kind of wish that they had multiple different voices that could be selected, but at the same time, that's like, what? You're gonna have multiple voice actors voicing the same thing and they're all on payroll? Granted, it's Bethesda. So I kind of get why they didn't. But, yeah, no. The story's okay, but it just gets really weak. And on top of that, the factions are kind of like most people either choose Institute or Brotherhood pretty much every run, and then Railroad and Minutemen are kind of put on the back burner. But yeah, that's kind of the story. I mean, there isn't really much of a post game like in Fallout 3, and you can't really pick or choose factions to keep along that you like or don't like you can in New Vegas. But yeah, no, that's kind of it. A lot of it's just eh. But we got to move into combat now. So let's go ahead and do that. This shit is gas. Okay, the combat in Fallout 4 is the best in the series. Hands down, alright, this shit carries ridiculously hard. It's fantastic, okay? Whereas in Fallout 3, you kind of just had shitty bloom, and there was no like real ADS other than some scoped weapons. Even though Fallout New Vegas kind of touched up on it, it still felt pretty archaic. Whatever, you get the point. But Fallout 4, it's a bit more modern, so like the overall gameplay feels so much smoother and it feels so much more responsive. And on top of that, with the modding and crafting system that was added, or okay, I wouldn't say added, but very much improved, to the point to where about every weapon almost, I want to say, is customizable, or at least has a lot of customization. Shit ton of unique weapons. Alright, the gunplay is fantastic, and there's good enemy variety as well. There's super mutants, there's the synths, there's pretty much any humanoid, and a shit ton of different creatures. With a shit ton of different ammo types and weapon types. So, in terms of gameplay, like straight fights gameplay, Fallout 4 is easily the best one in the series. I love Fallout New Vegas, it's my favorite Fallout. But Fallout 4's gameplay is so good. Sometimes I just replay Fallout 4 just so I could scratch that itch. It's that good. It is that good. I can't, like, it's good. It's good. And like, there's so many different builds and perks you can do. The one critique I have, is that crit is tied with VATS. So you hit shots in VATS, it charges your crit meter. And then once it's full, you hit space or whatever your keybind is. Your next move or next attack, whatever, bullet, swing from a baseball bat, it'll do extra damage. And if I remember right, it's also 100% accurate. Granted, if the enemies didn't happen to walk behind a barrier, blocking whatever the hell you were shooting at. But anyway, that's like my one critique. I kind of miss just like the old Fallout's like typical, you have a crit chance that scales with luck or whatever perks you got, like finesse. That's my one issue. But at the same time, it also gives more value to VATS. So you can kind of, I personally prefer the old crit system, but I can see why some people might like this new one, since it makes you play around VATS more. Or, well, VAT builds, if you're into that kind of a thing. That's not my thing. I personally don't use VATS too much, unless I'm trying to play around a VATS meter, specifically. But whatever, alright? This shit's awesome. I love it. It's so good. There's robots, and then like there's the DLC, especially Far Harbor. Far Harbor's got some cool-ass enemies. And Nuka World kind of just has a bunch of insects and raiders. But I'll get into the DLCs. Actually, we'll go ahead and do that now. I have like nothing bad to say and nothing more to say. This other than the combat is just really good. Okay. Ignore the messy nightstand. I could do a section just for like the settlements, like the base building, but I could kind of just sum that up as it's fine, it's all right. It definitely kind of felt it was just thrown in, and it kind of can get a little annoying saying, help defend this settlement. And if you don't do it, people are going to be pissy. And if it happens so much, they're not going to help you. And it's kind of just It's it's fine. You could, like, I like to just pick Sanctuary Hills or whatever and just build on it and make it a really big place and neglect all the others. But it's fine. It's alright. It has its place for people who like it, and if you don't like it or don't care about it, you could just completely ignore it. So it's not a big deal. It's fine. And I could also go over the DLCs, but I'm thinking I'm going to do a DLC tier list video, so I'm just going to save that for that. So stay tuned for that, but I do appreciate you guys watching this. I know it's a bit different. It wasn't a heavily edited video. I'm currently about to start moving again. But yeah, thanks. See you all later. I need to upload more. I've been very unmotivated, but I'm trying to find some things that I'm enjoying right now and seeing what kind of content I want to do with it. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. See ya. What am I, voice critical?